Hi everybody, this is Dr. Shulman. The last video I lost internet in my apartment. It cut out, so I'm gonna keep it going from here. I'm in my office. Feel free to come by anytime you want to come hang out with me or learn some stuff. The way this is gonna work is slide this a little bit. Here we go, because I'll be looking this way. But we're just gonna continue on with algebra. This is 4A. This will be the second part of 4A, and feel free to just shoot me an email if any of this stuff is too hard. First one was pretty long, but we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna share my screen. All right. Here are the notes that we're gonna be going through. The notes are right here, and we haven't quite made it to B yet. We're still in A. Remember, these algebra ones are gonna be really long because I'm gonna try to show you every single piece of how to do an algebra. So we're in delta, and we are up to, and I'm pretty sure the last one we did was exponents expanding and condensing. So we're going to get to write expressions. Isn't that nice? So we're going to go right to writing expressions. I just want to make sure that this was the last one we did. Yes, this is the last one we did, in case you forgot. We've got two A's, so that's A squared. And then we have two B's, so that's B squared. And we have two C's, so that is C squared. We can go the other way if we need to. Oops. We can go the other way if we need to. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 A's, so that's A to the sixth. And this is how many C's? C to the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you need more practice with this, I put a whole rule sheet in there for you, which is great. All right, let's get into it. So let's write expressions from context. So for these, we just have to write what the expression is from like wherever it is. So nothing should be too crazy. So we got our boy Ian. He signed up for a streaming music service that's $9 per month. This service allows him music, but he wants to download songs for offline. It's 50 cents per song. So if he wanted to download 40 songs in a month. Okay. So how much would he have to pay for this? So basically it's 9 per month, right? Well, that's ugly. So we have 9 songs per month. And then we have to add 50 cents per song. We're doing 1 month, right? 1 month. So that's 9 plus 50 cents, which is 50 cents times 40. So 0.50 times 40. Well, 0.50 is just a half. Well, what's a half of 40? 20. So it's $29. So basically, how much would you have to pay for S cost with 40 songs is $29. And then cost with S songs, it's 9 plus 0.5 S. So this will give you for any amount of songs that you want. Ta-da! And those are all the steps. So now we're going to do another way of writing this kind of problem in context. So at the gift shop, they sell small greeting cards and large greeting cards. So we got small and large, right? We got small ones, we got large ones. The small ones are $1.35, so that's $1.35 for every small. And the large ones are $3.60. So there's a $3.60 for every large. How much would it cost to get 3 of these and 5 of these? So that's 3 times 135 for the small, plus 5 times the large one. So then it's 360 times 5. How much would it cost? And then we just want one with like X and Y, which isn't too crazy to do the X and Y, right? To get the X and Y, it shouldn't be too crazy. So here, so you guys can see my beautiful face. All right. So to get these, nothing's too crazy. So we want the cost of this. So to get this one, nothing's going to be too hard about it. Just open a calculator. 3 times 1.35. That's $4.05. And then that should be at 5 plus 3.60 times 5, which is $18. We add them both together, you get $22.05. So 3 small and 5 large, that's $22.05. Now they want X to be small and Y to be large. Well, that's pretty much it. So it's 1.35X plus 3.60Y. And that's how we can write it in terms of X and Y. Ta-da! All right, let's keep it going. So now we have a mixed content question. So let's see what the mixed content question has for us. Ashley went to the store to buy some cherries. The price per cherries is $3.50 per pound. And she has a coupon for $2.50 off the final amount. Okay, so here we go. $3.50 per p pounds. And then we get to subtract $2.50 from the final amount. With the coupon, how much if she bought 4 pounds of cherries? So $3.50 times 4. To do this without the calculator, it's just 35 times 4. 4 times 5 is 20, carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. We move it one place, so it's $14 for the cherry minus the $2.50. Well, 14 minus 2.5 should be $11.50. And we're good to go. So that's the amount of cherries. And here's a final cost in pounds. It's going to be $3.50 p. And then we're going to subtract $2.50 for that, because we have a coupon for our cherries. There we go. Original cost minus the coupon. There's your formula. There's your final answer. All right. So now we're going to do this without in context, but we're going to use a different model. We're going to use a tape diagram model to do this. So let's look at the tape diagram model. These shouldn't be too hard. So we just have to find the value of X in the diagram. We know the whole thing is 8 and we're subtracting 2. X has to be 6. It's just like they're added together. And this is a really good way for students to see it, either the adding way or the subtraction way. I'll show a new problem. 22 minus 12. Yeah, this is a better problem. 22 minus 12 means we're left with 10. And we're cutting 10 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So we have to divide this. Some students really do better when they see it as a set. So 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. That's why the C has got to be 2. Cool. All right, let's do one with a linear equation. So we'll do a few of these. So here we go. If we have 9 and we have 3z, so the whole thing has to equal 9, 3z, and each of the z's is 3. So 3, 6, 9. Beautiful. All right, let's do a harder one. Now we're going to do one with the distributive property. So I have z plus 2, z plus 2, z plus 2, z plus 2 equals 96. So basically, how many z plus 2's do I have? I have 4 of them. Times z plus 2 equals 96. So 4 times z is 4z. 4 times 2 is 8. Then all I have to do is subtract 8 from both sides. And so I get 88 equals 4z. Divide by 4. What does z have to be? Each one of these has to be 22. Because 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 24 should give us 96. We got it. Very cool. All right, so here's the last tape diagram. All right, so these are always a little harder. I don't know why they make the multiple choice one so much harder, but that's okay, right? Nothing's too crazy about it. So I have, this just means it equals 76, but all of them have this. But how many b plus 1s do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not adding 4 to it. And it's not just 4 for the b, it's 4 to the b plus 1. So this is our whole thing. This is the whole way to look at the equation. So now we get to solve an equation in context of unwinding. Let's see what this one has in store for us. We got Josu has points card for a movie theater. He gets 20 rewards just for signing up. That's cool. He earns 12.5 points for each visit, and he needs 145 points for a free movie ticket. So how many visits must he make to earn the free ticket? So let's work backwards. So we need 145 for the free ticket. Well, we get 20 just for signing up. So the first step we have to do is subtract 20. There's a bunch of ways to do it, but I think this is the best. And he gets 12.5 for each ticket. So basically, to get the free one, it's 12.5 into this number, not the 145. So I have to do 12.5 divided by 125. Dividing decimals can get to be tricky, right? So the first step we do is we move the decimal. So if I move the decimal one place here, I have to move it one place in the answer. So 12.5 into 125 is the same thing as 3 digits into 4 digits. You got to add this extra one. 125 goes into once. 125 minus 125 is 0. And anything goes into 0, 0. So we need 10 tickets. That's how you do the whole thing without a calculator. Working backwards. We did it. Well, I like the little diagram. I think that's great. I didn't do mine algebraically. Well, I did mine a different way, but this is it algebraically. This is it unwinding. Oh, I did it unwinding. It's like, oh, that's what they wanted. Yeah, they wanted unwinding. So I did how they said. I didn't do it the other way. Okay. So let's do another equation in context because that's the whole idea for this. I got to move this thing. It keeps getting in the way. Oh, there's a lot of stuff here. Sorry, I just got to start going down. All right, so okay, this is the whole wow, crazy. Members of a soccer team raised $1,715.75 on a tournament. They rented a bus for 86,000 cents. And they budgeted 65 per players. So, okay, so how can we do this? Okay, so the whole thing is so this is what we raised. Okay, so I think the whole thing has to be what we raised, right? Yeah. They rented the bus for this, so this is going to be part of it. So they already rented the bus, so it's going to be this, and they just have to figure out how much per player for meals. I like this one the best. I think this is the answer. I'm going with B. Let's see what they have. So to do this, I had to just look at the questions, right? The whole thing has to equal that. That's why I didn't have it in the cost plus. None of the other choices have this as the total, right? If you look at the question, see the totals are too short. That's why I knew it couldn't be A and C. And then they did the whole equation. But we didn't need to do the equation. It's just whatever it is per player plus whatever it is for the bus, because to solve this one, you have to subtract the bus cost. That's why I knew it had to be a plus here. Another way you can solve this is just work it out and see if you're adding the bus cost or subtracting to get the final answer. In algebra, we always kind of have to work backwards. So that's why that's the answer. All right, let's write and solve a solution. So Nayeli needed to get her computer fixed. She took it to the repair store. Okay. The technician at the store worked on the computer for 2.75 hours, which is really, if you want to think about it in minutes, 2 hours and 45 minutes, if you want to think about it that way. She charged $72 per part. So we have 72 just for the parts. And the total was 223. So write and solve how many the cost per hour. Okay, so we know our total, so it's going to be equal to $223.25. We know it's going to be plus the $72 for the parts. And then it's going to be $2.75 times X. So that's the equation. $2.75 times X plus $72 equals $223.25. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to minus 72 to both sides. Notice that I kept the decimals matched up, so that's 5, 2, 1, and 15. Then we just have to divide it. I'm going to use a calculator because there's a lot of decimals here. 151.25 divided by 275. $55 an hour. That's how you work it out. That looks great. Which way did I did it this way. Did it this way. Okay, so now we're gonna do is just some subtraction of adding the opposite. Just some regular subtraction just to make sure we got these in here. I know we've done these before, but I really think this is going to be better just for us. So 7 and 1/6 plus 3 and 2/3. Oh, so which has the same value? All right, so to get the same value, we just have to do the opposite. If you actually want to work it out, remember it's multiply the bottom and add the top. It's 43/6 plus 9 plus 2, so that's 11/3. So it's 43/6 plus 22/6. We did times 2 times 2. But if you want to just add the opposite, it's the same thing as subtracting the negative. That's all they want to know for these. All right, so let's go level 2. So this one's already a plus and it's a minus, so we have to subtract so let's really think about this. So we want to subtract it and make it positive. So this is already positive. So I'm going C. These are nice and tough. So definitely take your time on these. Definitely take your time on these. You could always just multiply them together and then you get the value if you want. So here we go. Let's do another problem. At the beginning of spring, Lily had planted a small sunflower in her backyard. The sunflower's height is in inches of height, and W is given in weeks. H equals 4W plus 18. What could the number 4 represent? So this is the height. 4's got to be, so first height after 4 weeks, given by the equation. What could the number 4 be? That's the rate of how much it goes up. Because it started at 18 inches is what it means. The height when it's planted is 18. That's what that means. So if you have an equation like this, H equals 4W plus 18. This is your y-intercept. This is how tall it is when you plant it. This is the total height. This is the input variable, so that's the amount of weeks. And this is just how much it's growing. So the 4 means it grows 4 inches every week. The rate of change in the sunflower's height. Ta-da! That was a good question. Right. So now we get our first graph. Now remember, when you have these graphs, don't freak out about them. We're going to do tons of graphs. That's your y, that's your x. This is where you start. So Samantha is preheating her oven before using it to bake. Samantha created the following linear graph, the final temperature. Crazy. So what is the meaning of this? Now, notice this hatch mark right here. This means we don't have to go start at 0 because otherwise it'd take too much to be on the graph. This allows us to change the size of the graph. That's what this piece does. This means the graph starts at 75. So at 0, that's 75 temperature. Now this means after 1 hour, this is what this means. After 1 hour, the temperature is now 95 degrees, which means we go up 20 degrees every hour. Not 1 minute. Oh, it is time in minutes. I almost said hour. After 1 minute. After 1 minute, we're at 95 degrees. I thought it would be hours because it's baking. Okay, so let's make a table. So we have our friend Noah. He borrowed some money for his friend in order to help him buy a new video game system. Noah originally borrowed $50 and agreed to pay back his friend $5 a week. Make a table. So he borrowed $50, so he owed $50. He pays him back $5 a week, so at one it drops $5. Then it drops $5. Then it drops $5. So what is L? Oh, we have to write the equation. So the equation is representing the money he owes. So it's 50 minus, or is it plus? Either way, it's going to be 5 times t. So this is where it gets confusing to write the equations. So we check it. So we have L equals 50 plus 5 times t. Does this work at week 1? So let's go. At week 1, we should have $45. 50 plus 5 times 1. Nope, that's 55. So all we have to do is change this to minus. And that's a really good way to check. If you want to check yourself, just plug in a number. I would always recommend starting at number 3 or number 2 because 1s do weird things and 2s do weird things. We got it. We should have got it. Let's just show the solution. Oh, it froze. That happens sometimes with Delta. Just reload the page. I gotta do it again. 50, 45, 40, 35. And the equation is 50 minus 5t. We did it. Yay. Don't be afraid to just check it by plugging in an answer. Oops. Oh, because I got out of it, I have to actually go into it again. We did the tape diagrams. We did the equation. We did the adding the opposite. We did the interpret the make a table. I think we just made the table, right? Yeah, we just made the table. Okay, so here's the next one. So now we're doing a system of equations. This stuff is really useful. Okay, so Faith has 70 cents of nickels and dimes. She's got 11 nickels and dimes altogether. So we can do n plus s equals 0.70. How many we have, and she has a total of 11 altogether. So n plus s equals 11. So what makes sense? So we get to guess. They want us to guess first, but these are the ideas. You just have to make 70 cents. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Let's go with 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 11 of these. 5, 6, 7. All right, 7 and 4 is 11. However, okay, because this one's going to be, because this is their value, so this is 0.5. Sorry, a nickel is 0.05 for a nickel. Here's the equations. And I don't know why I put S for dimes. So I'm just going to redo the whole thing. So here we go. We have 70 cents. So it's going to be the amount of nickels plus dimes equals 11.05 nickels plus 0.10 dimes equals 70 cents. Now we could do it this way and just guess at it. I might as well just do the answer. I'm going to use elimination because n equals d or 11 minus d. And I can just drop this in here. So it's 0.05 times 11 minus d plus 0.10t equals 0.70. There's the whole equation. And this is how we work it out. Well, I don't know. We don't have to do it this way, but it's fine if we do. 0.05 times 11 is 0.55 minus 0.05d plus 0.10d equals 0.70. We have to subtract 0.55 from both. So that's going to be 0.15, and then we have 0.05d, divide by 0.05, divide by 0.05. So we're left with 0.15 divided by 0.05. So that means we have 3 dimes and 8 nickels. They wanted you to just play around here until you got it, but that's fine. There's your 3 dimes, and here is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's 40 plus 30? 70. We got it. The number of nickels is 8. The number of dimes is 3. Find another combination. Okay. Oh, determine 3 ways to, oh, this is just 3 ways to have 11 coins. Oh. So this means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nickels. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And here's the other one. But we know it's 8 and 3. So we can do 1 nickel, and we can do 10 dimes. So this is 1 nickel and 10 dimes. But we know the right answer is, oh, plot a line through the 3 points. That's cool. So the first one is 8, 3. Second one is 5, 6. Okay. And the third one is 110. Yep, there's 110. Determine the, oh, wait, now we're going to determine 3 ways to get 70 cents. That's 70 cents. So this is 5, 10, 12, and 1. Another way to get 70 cents. Let's do, so this means we have 4 nickels and we have 5 dimes. Here's the last one. To get 70 cents, we can do and 3 dimes. So now we have 3, 5, 8 nickels and 3 dimes. This is a really good way to teach it. So now we need all the points. So now I have 8, 3. That's the answer. Oh, it won't let me click on that. So I have to do the 12, the 1, and the 4, and the 5. Both lines are going to meet at the same point. So the first one is 12, 1. And the next one's going to be 4, 5. 4, 5. And look, they meet at this point. Ta-da! So if you see that, so this is doing it graphically. So seeing the graph, even if you don't know how to do it, you can work these out. This is such a great lesson. So we have 8 nickels and 3 dimes. I know this was way faster, the algebraic way, but it had decimals. It was weird. I think having the actual coins, first figuring out how to get the amount of coins, and then amount to get the money, the 2 lines cross, we got it. This is great. Really great lesson. All right. So now we're just doing a regular equation. So to do this, we have y equals mx plus b. And you're going to see lots of these. These will get harder as we go through it. So this is going to be your y value on your graph. And just one of these equations, it just represents every single point on one of these graphs. The b is the y-intercept. That's where you start. This guy's your slope. That's your rise over run. But basically, as long as we have y by ourselves, it's really easy to graph it. So just to make it in slope-intercept form, we just need the y alone. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 10x to both sides. And most people mess this up because they want to make these together. However, this is 10x's. When I say 10x's, 10x really just means we have 10 x's. 1, 2, 3. Now for this, you can't add or subtract. We can multiply and divide these things together because they're variables, but we can't add or subtract them. So a lot of students might say this is 46, but in actuality, this is going to be a 10x minus 56. We're going to divide 8 on one side. We're going to divide 8 on the other side. I'm going to do a lotus flower because 8 has to be divided by both. Here's your final answer. The 8's cancel. You're left with y equals what's 10 divided by 8. We'll simplify that to be 4/5 x. And negative 56 over 8, that's going to be negative 7. And we got it. If we were to graph this thing, we started negative 7. Means we go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 5. This is the way our graph's going to look, just so you know. That's the graph. So y equals 4/5 x minus 7. Oh, I said 5/4 and I wrote 5/5. I said it, I just wrote the wrong thing. Well, that's okay. We'll do one more just for fun. Well, here we go. I'll graph it too. So we have 2x minus 2y equals 16. First thing we'd have to do is subtract 2x from both sides. We want the y alone, so I have a negative 2y equals, you always put the x first, so a minus 2x plus 16. Divide by negative 2. Cancel. We do a little lotus flower here. Negative 2 over negative 2 is just a regular x, so it's 1 over 1x. And 16 divided by negative 2 is going to be a minus 8. If we were to graph this thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a steeper slope. It's just 1 over 1. So it's going to be 1 over 1 for all of them. So y equals just plain old x, or 1 over 1x minus 8. Ta-da! Cool. All right. So here we go. Here's a system of equations. So the first thing is x minus 4. And this one is plus 5 minus 2x. A lot of times when they want the answer, you just have to find the point. I've seen this on licensure exams. When they ask for the solution, it's literally the point where it comes together. So where the 2 points come together is always x and then y. So it's 3 minus 1. This happens all the time on that licensure test. I've seen this like 3 or 4 times. I'll put this one on the quiz. And I know it seems easy, but don't get it wrong, okay? All right, let's solve one graphically. Sweet. So here we go. So plot 2 lines. The first one we're gonna do this. This is plus 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And our slope is gonna be up 3 over 4. So ready? 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your first line. Here's the second line. Now this starts at negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the y-intercept. And the slope is, look, negative 2. So I'm going to go down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. So where do they meet? Right here. It's going to be a negative 4, 3. And that's the solution, negative 4, 3. I usually put them in parentheses because it represents a point. This point is the one part where these two graphs line up exactly. Ta-da! All right, so let's see a harder one. I know if there's a level 2 next. So here we go. All right, this one's level 2 because this one's not in y-intercept form. The first one we can make easy. The first one starts at +2. There's nothing here. So when there's nothing here, when it's just negative x plus 2, we can just assume it's a -1/1 slope. Because that's what it is. There's just like a mini -1 in the front, and we just make it a fraction. So down 1 over 1. That's the first one. The second one we have to solve. So it's x minus 2y equals -16. So the first step is we got to get the y alone. The furthest thing from the y is this x. We subtract it. So we're left with -2y equals -x. I always put the x first, so it looks more like y equals mx plus b. And then we just have to subtract the 16. Divide both by -2. This cancels. And our whole thing is just, I always lotus flower this, make sure your -2 goes to both. So we're left with y equals, this is basically a -1 over a -2, so that's a 1/2 x. And a -16 over a -2 is a +8. There's our graph. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rise 1, run over 2. There's your solution, -4, 6. -4 comma 6 is your solution. Ta-da! Cool, let's do another one. All right, so we just did graphically. All right, so now we get to determine how many solutions are in the equation. All right, so I might as well teach you something else. So we have two lines. This is what? No solutions, right? Because they're never going to touch their parallel. And this, for two things to be parallel, it would be like 2/3 x minus 4 and y equals 2/3 x plus 2. That's no solutions. Now, infinite solutions means they have the same slope and the same internet. They're basically the same line. So y equals 2x plus 2. All right, sorry. Y equals, I don't know. Here we go. Y equals 2/3 x plus 2, and y equals 4/6 x plus 2. If I simplify 4/6, I get 2/3. So these lines are directly on top of each other. Now, one solution is just anything else. This could be any other thing. So y equals 2/3 x minus 1. Y equals 2/3. Oh, can't have the same slope. 3x minus 1. And if this was a -3/2, they'd be, this makes perpendicular lines. They meet at a right angle when they are negative reciprocals of each other. All right, so for this one, all we have to do is solve and see what happens. I usually just get them into y equals mx plus b form, and that's it. So -2x plus 3y equals -1. I'm going to add the 2x to both sides. So 3y equals 2x minus 1, divide by 3. And we have y equals 2/3 x minus 1/3. That's the first equation. The second equation is 2x minus 6y equals 4. We got to subtract 2x here. That's a -6y equals -2x plus 4. Divide by -6. We're left with y equals a positive 1/3 minus 2/3. So these aren't the same slope. So guess what? What solution? Oh, they said just look at the slopes. If you just add them together. Oh, okay, so this is the way they wanted you to do it. They're using elimination. So if this is another way to solve this question. Another way to solve this question we can just add them up. because they match. This falls away. We're left with negative 3y equals 3. We divide by this. So we just get one answer here. So y equals negative 1, which is fine. So if y equaled, if it was like we were left with like a 2 equals 4, right? That doesn't equal each other. So that would be no solution. And if we were left with like a 4 equals 4, it'd be infinite solutions. So this is another way you can do the problem. It's called elimination. If you add them all together, if you get one answer, you have one answer. If it's just a number that equals itself, it's true for everything. If a number that doesn't equal the other number, it's no solutions. That would be infinite. Just another way to show it. All right, so let's keep going. So let's manipulate some. So if negative 8x minus 9y equals 2 and negative 7x minus 6y equals 6 are true equations, what would be the value of this? So I have to figure out what they are, right? This is a tougher way to show the same problem. Negative 8x minus 9y equals 2. Okay. And I'm just going to solve this for one of them. Let's see if the other one's easier to work with. Negative 7x minus 6y equals 6. Elimination's harder here because none of these match. So I'm going to solve one in terms from the other. Okay, so I'm going to add the 7x to both sides. Either way, this is going to be tough. Actually, no, I will use elimination because I don't really want to deal with crazy fractions. So negative 8x minus 9y equals 2. And this is, I just didn't want to deal with fractions. So that's why I'm going to use elimination instead of substitution. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this entire line by 6, and I'm going to multiply this entire line by negative 9. This is going to be negative 48 minus 54, negative 40x minus 54y equals 12. And this one's going to be a positive 63x plus 54y equals negative 54. Now, if I add both of these together, this cancels, it drops. And I'm left with 63 minus 48, which isn't crazy, right? So I have, because this is plus, I have a positive 15x. Those cancel, and then I have 54 minus 12, which is 42. We're dividing both by 15. So 42 divided by 15 is 2.8. So I have x equals 2.8. I knew it was going to be weird and have fractions. So now I'm just going to take one of the formulas. I will take the first formula. So I have a negative 8x minus 9y equals 2. Negative 8 times 2.8 minus 9y equals 2. Negative 8 times 2.8. 22.4 minus 9y equals 2. Minus 22.4. Both sides. Over negative 9y equals negative 20.4 divided by negative 9. So we have the minus 2. We have to divide by 9. And it's 2.26 repeating. There's got to be an easier way to do this problem. So we just have to multiply this by negative 15. So the first one's 34. Y is 34, and the x's are 15 times, what is that? 2.8. So 2.8 times 15, we'll see whatever the easier way is 42. So it's a negative 42 and a negative 34. Our final answer is 76. Negative 76. So that was a ton of work. Let's see the easy way to do this problem. Oh, what? I got 70. What did they get? They got 8. Doesn't make sense. Well, I'm going to learn how to do this problem because obviously I don't know how to do this one. So let's see what they do. I don't have them together. Okay, let's see. So they have negative 8x minus 9y. Well, I'm going to look it up on Desmos and make sure I did the right thing. Let's see how off I was. So we have negative 8x. Before we do it their way, let's see how off I was. Minus 9y equals 2. And we have a negative 7x minus 6y equals 6. And my answer was 2.8 and 22.4, but the answer should have been a 2.8. Oh, I forgot my negative sign. Oh, that's annoying. So the x is negative, and the y was 2.26. Okay, so I missed one sign. Where's the minus sign I'm missing? It's right here. Negative 54. Here it is. So I missed my one negative sign. Times it by 15, we would have gotten the right answer. All right, let's see the much easier way to do it. I just wanted to see if I was actually off. All right. So negative 8x minus 9y equals 2. They just added them together to start. And then negative 7x minus 6y equals 6. Let's take it from there. This is negative 15x minus 15y equals 8. Oh, we're already done because that's what it is. Well, that's really annoying. All right, so let's do another one. So if you just add an equals what it's supposed to be, it's fine. If 4x plus y equals 8, what would be the value of negative 5 times that? All right, see how this piece doesn't have the equals to 8, right? Doesn't have the equal to 8. So the first thing I'm going to do is 4x plus y equals 8 and figure out what these are in terms of 8. I think they want you to just multiply every piece by the negative 5 without breaking it into parts. But we'll see. Negative 20x minus 5y equals negative 40. Let's see if it's negative 40. And then we're going to do some more stuff. We'll do a couple more of these. Yep, that's big. All right. If x plus 9y equals negative 8 is true, what would be the value of 2 plus x plus 9y? Well, if I add 2 to that, it's just going to be negative 6. It's the same. It's the same. All right, one more. This, we doubled it, so we times this by 2. So if we times that by 2, we get negative 12. Okay, so they're not bad. Interesting stuff. All right, let's do eliminations. So the elimination method, the whole goal is to get rid of one of them because did you see how many steps this was? And then I made a mistake, right? And then graphing also kind of takes some time. Graphing also takes time. So there's another option. The other option is we see what matches and we get rid of it. So the fast way to do, we would add to eliminate x. That's your first step. We divide both by -7, y equals -8, and then we solve it. Let's do the problem. These two are together. We could double the top, right? But the fastest way to eliminate these is just to add the x's. All right, let's get harder. Oh, I'm gonna change the color. Sorry, I've been using two colors. I don't know what's been going on with me. I guess I'm just a little off today. So if I subtract this whole thing, that means every sign changes. That's like a -x, a +4y, and a +15. So these are going to cancel. So I'm just going to be left with y equals 2. How fast was that? Because those dropped and these dropped. So if I know y equals 2, x minus 3y equals -13. Take the 2, I'm going to drop it in. So x minus 3 times 2 equals -13. X minus 6 equals -13. We're going to add the 6. I'm going to add the 6. X equals -7. So it's -7 too. Let's get a little harder. So this is 4x minus 5y equals -11. 2x plus 15y equals 47. And all I have to do is multiply the bottom by -2. That's going to be 4x minus 5y equals -11. -4x minus 30y equals -94. Add them up. Those cancel. So we're left with -35y equals -105. Divide by -35. And so y equals 3. Can double check that. Sweet. Then we're just going to take the shorter one to solve it with. So we know y is 3, so that's going to be 2x plus 15y equals 47. We know what term is 3. We know our y is 3. 2x plus 15 times 3 equals 47. 2x plus 45 equals 47. We're going to subtract 45 from both sides. I have 2x equals 2, divide by 2, x is 1. So our answer is 1, 3. This is the point where the two graphs come together. Magic. Let's do one that's harder. Three x minus 5y equals -3. 4x minus 7y equals -6. You'd have to multiply the top by 4 and the bottom by -3. I know that's annoying. So it's 12x minus 20y equals -12. Then we have -12x plus 21y equals +18. We add them up. We get y equals 6. And we just plug it into the easier one, which basically is going to be 3x minus 5 times 6 equals -3. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 equals -3, plus 30 to both sides. 3x minus 30 So that's 27 equals 3x. 5 by 3, x equals 9. So it's 9/6. All the fancy steps. Let's do an elimination guided. So we have this and we have this. Solve the system equations by combining them. Just gonna put a minus here. I'm gonna subtract these. Oh, they just want me to add these together. Okay, so that's 12x negative 3y equals negative 6. Equals 6. Let's get the negative 1 here. That's 0x and negative y equals 10. Negative 10. We got it. Plug in negative 10 to either equation. Okay, so 6x minus 2 times negative 10 equals 8. 6x plus 20 equals 8 minus 20 minus 20. 6x equals negative 12, divide by 6, x equals negative 2. Final solution is always the x before the y. I got to make this one first. I think I'm going to take out 3 because you're not going to have to do ones that hard. So here, let's take out 3. Yep, and let's move this to the top. All right, let's take out 3 for substitution. So let's do some substitutions. So we have these together, right? So if we have them, y equals negative 2x minus 50 and y equals 8x. If it's already like this, we can literally just take this and put it here. I know it's a longer equation, but guess what? Now it's just with x's. We add 2x to both sides. I've got 10x equals negative 50, divide by 10. So we know that x equals negative 5. Then I always just drop into the shorter one. What's 8 times negative 5? Negative 40. So we have a negative 5 and a negative 40. Oh, yes, negative 5 and negative 40. I just wanted to double check, make sure it was correct. Magic. All right, let's do a 2-level one of that. So here's the same sort of idea. We're just going to drop the negative 6 in. So negative 7x plus y equals 26 and y equals negative 6x. This is going to drop into here. So our equation is negative 7x minus 6x equals 26. Well, if we have a negative 7, negative 6, that's a negative 13x equals 26. We divide by negative 13. X is negative 2. And if we just do negative 2 times negative 6, we get a positive 12. But these are too hard for you. Try some more. Okay. All right, let's do some in context. Well, we are flying through it. All right, so let's write one of these systems from context. A paper company needs to ship paper to a large printing business. to a large print. The paper will be shipped in small boxes and large boxes. The volume of each box is 7 cubic feet, and the volume of each large box is 13. Total of 19 boxes were shipped. The combined volume 181 feet. Write the system of equations. All right, I think I'm gonna actually pause. I'm gonna pause the video. I think this is a good place to stop. I might delete some of these. I just feel like there's a lot, so I'm gonna hit back on this. We're here, write system of equations. But I think this is probably a good place to take a break. So I'm gonna stop this video. There'll be a part 3 where I knock out the rest of them. And have a great day.